The top two seeds, Simona Halep and Karolina Pliskova, are into the Rome finals once again. Will Halep finally take the trophy in the Eternal City, or will defending champion Pliskova retain her title? I'll break down this matchup and give my prediction here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today. Halep opened up against Italian Jessica Paolini, beating her 6-3, 6-4. She then took out Ukrainian Diana Yastremska 7-5, 6-4, but had a much easier match in the quarters, Putintseva retiring at 6-2 to love. Lastly, Halep got by a stern test of Muguruza in the semifinals, winning 6-3, 4-6, 6-4. Pliskova played compatriot Barbora Strycova in the opening round, winning 6-3, 6-3. She took out Anna Blinkova 4-3 before overcoming Elise Mertens 6-3, 3-6, 6-love. The semifinals saw her most dominant performance, beating last year's Roland Garros finalist Marketa Vondrousova 6-2, 6-4. Looking at the head-to-head, Halep leads 7-4, but Karolina has won their last 2 of 3 matches. These two women have played twice on clay, Halep winning their 2017 Roland Garros match and Pliskova the 2018 Madrid one. Their last meeting, however, was on hard court at the WTA Finals round robin last year, Pliskova taking that one in 3 sets. In this WTA Finals match, Pliskova was on fire to start, overpowering and begeling Halep in the first set. Simona, however, started to be more aggressive, taking advantage of Pliskova's poor serving. Karolina also started to spray a lot more unforced errors. In the third set, however, both players really started to play near their best, minus some shaky service games, and Karolina just prevailed at the end, being the more gutsy of the two. Clay really doesn't see that drastic of a shift in their matchups, because Karolina is still able to hit through the court and can still dominate on serve. Clay actually might be her best surface, because it allows her more time to set up on her shots and do damage. Clay, of course, is Simona's best surface by far, as it suits her great counter-punching game. Roland Garros was the better clay court match and probably their best one thus far. Halep was slightly better that day, and it showed in the important points. Madrid, however, was more in Karolina's control, as she simply overpowered the Romanian. For Karolina to repeat this success, she should first hit flat penetrating shots to the Halep forehand. The forehand is Simona's weaker wing, and part of the reason for her success on clay is that she has more time to set up for that shot. One thing I've noticed though, regardless of the surface, Pliskova's flat ground strokes really seem to bother her on that side, so she needs to continue to do this. Next, Karolina needs to look for more opportunity to change direction of the ball and seize them. Halep loves a good rhythm, and much of Pliskova's success against her is her ability to change this by going down the line to get Halep moving. A point that plays into this one is to play first strike tennis. This is Pliskova's forte, so I doubt this would be an issue, but the Halep Muguruza match was an excellent example of how to be successful against Simona. Garbiñe struggled at the beginning because she tried to out-rally Halep, which is incredibly difficult to do. When she started to take the initiative, however, she was a lot more successful and was able to hang in there longer. Garbiñe also moved forward whenever possible, and Karolina needs to do the same. Pliskova's volleys aren't the best, but they are better than Muguruza's. As poor as Garbiñe's volleys are, she still had great success when further in the court. Karolina for sure has the potential to make Halep uncomfortable here, and if she does find herself near the net, it's a good indicator that she's controlling the points. Last and most importantly, Pliskova needs to have a good serving day. Generally, when Karolina's serve is solid, so is her game, and it adds additional confidence. In New York, however, Pliskova had long periods of bad serving, which affected her mentally and took away much of her confidence. We haven't seen this at all in Rome, which is why she's been so successful. Also, Karolina was successful against Vondrousova when hitting the slice serve wide, and I also think that's a serve she should hit a lot here. For Halep to win her first title in Rome, she needs to not be passive. A passive mentality is a poor one, especially against an informed Pliskova. In all of Karolina's victories against Simona, Halep had great periods of being really passive, and this cannot happen again here. Next, Simona has to have a high first serve percentage. This doesn't really need a big explanation. Pliskova will make her pay for weak second serves, and a high first serve percentage would increase the likelihood of this happening. A similar point to the opening one is to hit through the court, but get Karolina on the move. Whenever Halep moved Garbiñe, she was really successful, and she should do this against Pliskova because, for one, her movement isn't the best, and she doesn't really like hitting on the move. Kind of opposite though, Simona should target shots up the middle to the Karolina forehand. Karolina's forehand is more inconsistent than her backhand, and she makes even more errors when the ball is in the middle of the court because she doesn't have the same angles to work with. The last point for Halep is to remain positive and take her time. She's been doing a much better job at this, but against Muguruza, especially in the second set, she got down on herself and started rushing a lot more. However, when Simona was calm and took her time, she played a lot better. For my final match prediction, I have Karolina beating Halep in 2 tight sets to take the title. I was originally going to pick Halep purely based on a strong urge she'd hold the trophy, but I think Karolina has been playing slightly better this tournament and will come out on top. She's been the more steady in terms of level and play, whereas Halep has had too many peaks and valleys. Don't get me wrong, she's been playing well, and I'm not saying it's bad, but she's been really shaky at times, and her opponents haven't exploited these parts, whether it be inexperience or injuries. I think Pliskova will. If there's a time to change this, the final is that time, and she very well may surprise me and elevate her game. Although the semifinal was an entertaining match, Simona didn't play at her best, and neither did Garbiñe. Muguruza, despite her ailments and sometimes inconsistent play, pushed Simona to the brink, and I don't think Karolina would be so forgiving and she'd ultimately take the win. I'm picking Karolina primarily off of form, which is why I have her winning in straights, but if the match goes to 3, I'm going with Halep due to her fighting and grit. One thing Garbiñe has over Karolina is the willpower and fight. The Spaniard almost fought back against Halep because of that tenacity and intense never-say-die attitude. Pliskova has improved on this front, but if this match goes how I think it could, where she starts strong, but Halep wins the second, I'm going with the Romanian. However, I'm going to stay with my pick and think Karolina will defend her title. Do you agree that Karolina will reign supreme in Rome, or will Halep come through and take it? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.